Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are in the Building Connections session with Career Spring. So today with me, we have the Career Spring team. They're amazing partners of Fulfillment Fund. So I want to give them a chance to introduce themselves. So we have Abby Adams here today. We have Martine Rincon, and then we have Jessica Zhao, who is a current undergraduate student as well. So students, she's going to have a lot of really great advice for you. So really make sure that you're taking notes, asking questions. And again, make sure that you are participating in the chat. There's a lot of gift cards that we're going to give away. And again, Cormark International has sponsored our scholarships for the evening. So there's definitely a lot of prizes that y'all can win today. So make sure that you're asking questions. And I'll be here in the background, making sure that your questions are answered. But yeah, without further ado, I will let the Career Spring team take it away and introduce themselves.
Thank you so much, Olivia. It has absolutely been an honor and a pleasure to work with the Fulfillment Fund. So for everyone out there, Career Spring is a totally, absolutely free service for all FGLI, first generation and or low income students, college students for the sake of this conversation. And we access our amazing FGLI students through partnerships like we have with the Fulfillment Fund. And I am proudly will say that the Fulfillment Fund was our first partner in Los Angeles way back in the fall, a year ago at this point. The Career Spring was launched in Houston in 2020. It is, as I said, a free, everything you need to prepare you for a meaningful career in terms of services like interview prep, resume building, speaking to actual career professionals, and then ultimately getting internship and job placements. There are three pillars. Martine, if my colleague would share his screen and show the actual website. And scroll up a little bit. There's why Career Spring. And I want to stop at this statistic very quickly. 70% of all jobs are not published publicly on job sites. That means what you are seeing on LinkedIn or Indeed is a fraction of what is actually out there. And the even greater statistic, which is even more startling and is a big part of what Career Spring does, is that 80% of those jobs that are published and those that are not published are filled through personal or professional connections. And we, Career Spring, will be your personal and professional connection. Once you become an advisee, a student advisee on the platform, you will have access to our employer partners, our companies across the country. As I said, Los Angeles was launched in the spring of this year. We are in 8 other cities, including the Bay Area, Chicago, Detroit, Houston, Dallas, Chicago, Detroit, New York, Boston, and Atlanta, which means you have access to not only the jobs and internships across the country, including Los Angeles, but you will have access to career professionals in every sector you can imagine across the country to give you actual advice when they're talking to you on our platform. So Martine, if you can scroll up a little further, I will show you how our network functions, and then Martine is going to actually take you through the platform. So the first part of our platform is information, and it comes in the form of our career video library. We have over 700 volunteer career professionals talking about how they got to do what they do, a day in the life, their work-life balance. So that's the information piece. The second piece is the advising piece. Our career advisor forum connects you with, again, in this case, over 1,100 career professionals who want to talk to you, who want to help you figure out your career path as an intern and while you're an undergrad student, or as an entry-level first job when you graduate. And then the last piece is the placement piece. And this is in internships, entry-level jobs for you, again, in any kind of career you can imagine, whether you want to go into marketing, entertainment, finance, architecture, you name it. It is available on our platform. Again, all free for you as a partner with us and through Fulfillment Fund. So now I'm going to introduce my colleague, Martin Rincon, who actually is a Los Angelino. He's a native of Los Angeles. He's living in Houston right now, where, as I said, we were founded. He went to Verbum Day High School, and he also went to Georgetown University. And I will let Martin take you through the platform, and then he will introduce Jessica Zhao, who is a Career Spring ambassador as a senior at Georgetown University. She is from New York, but right now I will toss it over to Martine. And before I do that, the most important thing is that you actually sign up and create your profile and register on the platform before we leave our session tonight. And in the chat, or we will maybe show the Fulfillment Fund passcode and the QR code to get to the platform. So you can literally do it and sign up in real time while you're listening to the rest of our presentation. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We will take questions at the end, and now I will turn it over to Martine.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Abby. Can y'all hear me clearly? Yeah. Okay, wonderful. So my name is Martin Rincon. I'm a job placement manager here at Career Spring. It is a pleasure to meet all of you all. As Abby mentioned, I am a Los Angeles native. Well, that's not the full truth. I was initially born in Mexico. So I was born in Toluca, Mexico, and then I came to the United States when I was 5 years old, grew up in Compton, California. I went to a KIPP school for middle school, and then I went to Verbum Day for high school. As Abby mentioned, I did go to Georgetown University. There's a lot of, story that takes place in between all of that, but the most important piece of the entire story is that, education was important, right? Connections were important. One of the things that I learned when I went to Verbum Day was the importance of meeting new people. We were thrown into these different job sites where we got to interact with individuals that, we didn't necessarily see on a day-to-day basis. However, this was the start for me to get an understanding of how networking works and the opportunities that can come from that. With that in mind, but pretty much my time in college was spent doing that, right? Making connections, joining organizations, doing things that I enjoyed in order to get a better sense of what I wanted to do in the future. Now, coincidentally, after college, I decided to go back into education. So I became a teacher for a while, and then I became a college counselor. And then finally, I got to where I am today. Now, while all of those different jobs may seem a little bit different, they all actually have a lot in common and have led me to where I am today in terms of supporting individuals with different types of opportunities. With that all in mind, really what we want to provide with the Career Spring platform is a platform where you have access to different resources that will allow you to find those things that you want to do in the future. Really, what we want to do is expose you to different types of opportunities, different types of roles, organizations that are out there so that you get a better sense of, what is possible. When I was younger, that is something that all of my mentors told me, is to always ask questions, to always continue finding those things that you enjoy, right? Like you have to enjoy the thing that you do. And a lot of times when I used to work with students, they, kind of questioned that. It was always, oh, well, I want to go to this college, or I really like this subject, and the why was never really there, right? Like, why do you like this subject? Why do you want to go to this college? Why do you want to do this? And it was a question that I actually pushed my students and pretty much any advisee that I talked to with, because it is an important part of your own professional development. When you start applying to different opportunities, when you start applying to different organizations, that's going to be a question that comes up a lot. Why did you choose your major? Why did you apply to this role? Why do you want to do this? And in this competitive job market, it's becoming even more important for you to have a really good grasp of why you want to do that position that you're applying for. Employers these days are receiving a lot of applications, as you would imagine, with new remote roles coming in. So with that in mind, it really is important for you to have your why. So when you apply for different roles on the Career Spring platform, you will have a conversation with either myself or one of my colleagues. We will get a better sense of what you want to do in the future and the types of opportunities that you're looking for. After we have that conversation, we will provide you with different types of opportunities, including jobs, part-time roles, and also internship opportunities for you to get to explore all of these different types of roles that are out there. Now, those opportunities are usually more geared towards sophomores and juniors, where you really are exploring specific fields, right? If you want to do something in engineering, apply to some of our engineering internships. If you want to do something in finance, make sure that you are applying to some of those roles. Now, if you are a freshman and, a sophomore as well, or a transfer student, you're probably wondering, okay, but where does that leave me? Well, with that in mind, really the most important thing to do your first and second year of college is to get involved. start joining organizations not only in leadership positions, but also organizations that will allow you to, get a greater sense of the type of work that you want to do in the future. If you join finance organizations, more than likely you're going to find different types of case competitions, where individuals are doing different types of modeling and different types of work that will allow them to, build their portfolio doing that. If you are interested in computer software, in software development, there are also hackathons that you can join through different organizations that will allow you to get more experience. In addition to that, one place that a lot of individuals miss is your school projects, right? Those different school projects that you are receiving from professors, those projects can be used in different interviews as a form of experience. All that to say is that one of the most important things for you to do during your time in college is to get involved. So if you are a sophomore, if you are a freshman, start looking at organizations that align with some of your interests, the types of things that you might want to do in the future. Once you start off with that, once you become a sophomore, you will start applying to some of those internship opportunities that are currently on our platform. As I mentioned, once you apply to one of those roles, you will meet with one of us so that we get a better sense of where you want to go. After that conversation, we will provide you with different guidance just so that you get a better sense of what your next steps might be directly. Now, in order to show you a little bit more about our platform, I am going to show you a couple of its features. Some of my favorite ones, or, I would usually recommend to go to the video library. If you are starting off your career, still trying to decide what you want to do, you would use the video library to search different individuals, different types of careers. Here you can watch different videos on these careers. Individuals will tell you a little bit more about their day-to-day lives, the types of things that they do, and then just more about things that they wish they would have learned before starting those careers. After you've gotten a better sense of the type of career that you want to pursue or the type of industry, our recommendation is to start connecting with individuals. Really, one of the things that's the most powerful about the platform is the number of networks that you can create. Networks are important, and one of the things that I tell individuals all the time is that you never know who you're going to meet or what a conversation might lead to. With that in mind, on the Career Spring platform, you have access to over 1,300 advisors. These are individuals that you can directly have conversations with about their careers. Once you create an account, it will match you with different individuals according to your interests, preferences, and your accounts. Because I've done a lot of work within education, you'll notice that the people that it matches me with are either individuals in education, nonprofits, and also talent acquisition, since that's a little bit of what I do now. Now, once you get these different individuals, you can have free conversations with them about their careers. So let's say that I wanted to do something in marketing. I would type out marketing and I would start seeing the profiles of different individuals that are, doing some kind of marketing at different companies. I'll take a look at, some of their profiles. I can see Haley here works at the MBA. That sounds really, that sounds amazing. So I'm going to click on her name just to learn a little bit more about her profile. I could do a little bit more research on the type of work that she does, where she, went to school, all that different information and where she's worked before. And then I can actually schedule a conversation with them just to get a better sense of what I need to do in order to prepare for a job similar to the one that she has. With that in mind, I would book a conversation with them. I usually recommend booking a conversation at least a week in advance to increase the chances of being able to connect with that individual. Write out a message, include your resume and anything that's important in order for you to be able to connect with this individual. Now, these conversations are really important because they can help you with a lot of things. If I was applying to a job at the MBA, more than likely this conversation would be helpful so that I can get a better sense of the work environment that, the MBA has. In addition to that, I can also use our conversation to talk a little bit more about, different initiatives that the MBA might be having that are relevant to the types of things that I want to do while I'm actually working there. So again, that goes back to your why. Why do you want to work at these organizations and why do you want to have these jobs? Really, these conversations help you get a better understanding of the types of opportunities that are out there and the things that you need to do in order to get to those opportunities. Now, one of the things that I tell individuals is that because they are very knowledge-based, a lot of times individuals wonder, oh, can this person get me a job? Well, that's not necessarily the intention with a lot of these conversations. A lot of times, some of the individuals that are on the platform may not necessarily be able to give a reference for an individual. So with that in mind, really what I encourage individuals to do is to ask for more opportunities to connect with other people within that person's network. A simple question of, hey, thank you so much for, this time. If you know anybody that can also meet with me to give me a little bit extra advice, I would really appreciate that. or asking for any types, to keep you in the loop of any open opportunities that might become available. Again, these conversations are helpful to do that. And the final thing that I'll say, at least regarding this, is that you can also book conversations with different human resource professionals. So these human resource professionals are people that are doing interviews for their own institutions. They're also individuals that are reviewing resumes. So they are really the best people that can inform you of the different things that you need to either change in your resume or things that you can improve on in your interviews. With that in mind, once you go on the platform, if you type interview, you will see different individuals that have come from different industries that are open to supporting you. Lucas Ryan is a talent agent. So if you're into the entertainment business or want to get a better sense of how to prepare for those types of opportunities, you can have a conversation with them. As you scroll down, you will see that there's some individuals that are more within general human resource, the human resource industry. So they can help you out generally with resumes and also with having a mock interview. There are a lot of resources on the platform. I would say that I deeply encourage every single individual to go on here and to prepare as much as possible. One of the things that I tell individuals all the time is that when you're looking for a job, I completely understand that the one thing on your mind is, I need a job, right? You're probably not thinking about scheduling a mock interview. You're probably not thinking about reviewing your resume. You're probably not thinking about that project that you did freshman year, second semester. You're probably not thinking about those things. However, it's important to think about them. With that in mind, take some time to really just go over some of the projects that you've done, those different organizations that you have been a part of, and why you joined them, right? Those different things are going to come up in your different interviews that you have. I know that it can be a very stressful process, but that preparation really supports you because it allows you to have a better sense of your own story and how to tell that story. With that in mind, it takes a lot of practice. So book as many conversations as possible. As I mentioned, these conversations are free, so it is important to gain as much knowledge as you can with them. I know that it's not an easy task, but you do have a team here at Career Spring and at the Fulfillment Fund that is, ready to support you with anything that comes up. So please keep us updated. Abby, did I miss anything? I know that I've just mentioned a lot of things.
Thank you, Martine. That was great. Well, we will take them to the job placement piece. That's the last piece, and you'll see all of the opportunities we have. But what I will stress with in terms of or amplify what Martine said is, the more you do things, the more confidence you have. So what we at Career Spring and the Fulfillment Fund is really offering you is to practice, and take advantage of all of these resources. So ultimately, when you are having the interview for the job or the internship, you will feel confident because you have really maximized all of the resources that Martine was just talking about. And here he's going to just give you a couple examples of different jobs and what it looks like when you look at a job and you then want to apply for a job through Career Spring. I'll turn it back to Martine.
Thank you for emphasizing those different pieces, Abby. In terms of the job opportunities, when you go to the jobs tab, you will have access to all of the roles that are on the platform. As I mentioned, this includes part-time roles, full-time roles, and different internship opportunities. What I'm going to actually get started with is looking for some fully remote roles that are available at the moment. As you can see, we have a software engineering intern role, a chief of staff intern role, something within healthcare, and also a tax accounting role. So if you have those interests, definitely visit the platform and check some of these opportunities out. Let's say that I wanted to do software engineering. I would click on the Learn More button, and here I would take a look at some of the qualifications that they have. We pretty much include all the qualifications that a employer sends us. These are, qualifications that are coming from the employer directly, so be sure to read them carefully. As you can see, it is a fully remote role, either pursuing a bachelor's or a master's degree in computer science. Wonderful. I can look at what the salary is for this position, which is between $17.66 and $51.59. I can read a little bit more about the company, the type of role that they have, the different types of duties that I would do, and I would check carefully the required qualifications just to make sure that I meet all of those requirements. And if it does seem like a role that I want to apply to, I would just check some information down here just to see if there's any additional information that can support me with this application. And as you can see, it does remind me that, if I need my resume reviewed, that there are resources for that. Let's click apply now. Once you do that, it will take you over to a small questionnaire. Once you answer this questionnaire, you will attach your resume, the most updated one, and then you would click apply now so that we receive that application. As I previously mentioned, once you send in a request, one of us will meet with you. More than likely, it will be myself. We'll have a conversation about your qualifications, why you're interested in this opportunity and similar opportunities, and working within that industry. During that conversation as well, I will provide you with different tips just to support you along with the interview process. But as I mentioned, you can use this search bar over here just to find different opportunities, or you can also go over to locations. And if we were to put Los Angeles, let's see what we currently do have available. Let's see. Oops. Los Angeles. There we go. So there's a couple tutoring opportunities. There's an auto finance internship with Ally Financial. The United Talent Agency does have an internship program there. And then we also have a couple opportunities with K1 Management, Equity Residential. So there's actually a couple of opportunities currently available on the platform. In addition to the opportunities that are in Los Angeles, one of my recommendations would be to also check to see if there are any other regions where, because to my understanding, you all are kind of located in California and in other universities as well. So definitely take a look at what we do offer in our different locations. As Abby mentioned, we are located in Boston, New York, Atlanta, Texas, and also in California. So definitely take a look at the different in Chicago. Definitely take a look at all the opportunities that are available out there. But yes, again, applying to opportunities is pretty simple. All you have to do is click on the role itself. And actually, while I'm here now, I might as well do a quick plug-in. Let's see if there are any programs. So Netflix actually has an Empowering Women in Tech opportunity at the moment. So I could click on that. If I am interested within the tech industry, this is a free, program where you can go and learn more about opportunities that are present at Netflix. So you could also apply for that. And same process as before, you would either talk to one of us or get sent the link directly. And then we would put you in contact with the company itself. But as I mentioned, really these opportunities are for you to get a better understanding of what you want to do in the future, because ultimately that is the most important thing is, your career path and the way that you want to continue that. So definitely be sure to apply to roles and, start having conversations with our advisors.
Thank you, Martine. And we will take questions at the end, but now I would like to turn it over to Jessica, who has experienced the Career Spring platform in real time and in real life. So I will turn it over to Jessica Zhao.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope everyone is having a great evening or late afternoon. My name is Jessica Zhao. I'm currently a senior at Georgetown University. So we have three Hoyas on the panel right now. Currently majoring in business and global affairs, which is in the business school and foreign service school. And I'm originally from New York City, East Harlem, and grew up there my entire life, grew up in New York City my entire life. So telling you guys about my story and where all about my background and how I am here, how I got here to Georgetown, and my story with Career Spring. It's definitely been a roller coaster. So as I mentioned before, my parents, or actually I didn't mention this before, but I'm first generation low income. My parents immigrated from China to the US. And so growing up, I had a lot of those experiences of especially when it came to like applying to college. I'm sure many of you also have had the experience of, oh, I have no idea. Like my parents didn't go to college in the US, so had to figure that all out on my own, utilizing different resources. And I will really emphasize what a lot of the things that Martine said, knowing your why, knowing, why do you want to do this exact major? Like why did I want to major in business and global affairs? That was really important to me, and to kind of explain my why. So my parents came to the US, they started their own small business, and growing up, I kind of saw the challenges that they had facing kind of building their own business. And so I knew that when I was going to college that I really wanted to understand how the world works, how businesses work. And so that's kind of why I decided to major in business and global affairs, since of course, like international affairs, all of that good stuff really has a large impact on the world, and being knowledgeable about that is something that I really wanted to gain from my career journey. I will also tell you guys that I'm currently a senior, have had a few internship experiences, which were thanks to CareerSpring, but I will get to that later. But I'm particularly interested in business, specifically finance. And so, as Martine said, well, why am I interested in finance? For me, it is because I'm really interested in learning about how businesses work and being able to help them. Since growing up, I saw my parents facing a lot of challenges and a lot of the hardships of running their own business. I knew that post college, I wanted to help other people with their businesses, so I could help them with whatever they wanted to do with their businesses. So that's why finance specifically. But kind of moving on to my story with CareerSpring, I actually found CareerSpring through Georgetown. Since I'm first generation low income, I'm part of a organization at Georgetown called Georgetown Scholars Program, and it's a little community of first gen FIGLE students. And so I was on the email newsletter listserv, and I saw a little blurb saying, "Oh, CareerSpring, a free resource for networking, for job placement." And I saw that somebody who used to be working at GSP, she was now at CareerSpring, and so I was really interested. I was like, "Oh, it's free. Like maybe it'll be useful." And I cannot tell you guys like how useful and great it has been. So when I first joined the platform, I, was looking up and saw a few positions, and I thought like, hey, this is pretty interesting. Back then I was a sophomore, didn't really know what I was looking for, but knew that I wanted to try out, was interested in finance. And so I actually saw this one internship that was for a marketing agency internship, and it was completely remote, but I decided to apply and just see where it would go. And so when I first applied, a few days later, I got an email from one of CareerSpring's job placement managers asking to meet, so she can meet me for the first time, and this would kind of be like my first FaceTime with the people behind CareerSpring. And I remember meeting Laura, the job placement manager. I believe she's specifically on like the East Coast. She was just really kind and sweet, really wanted to hear about my story and my experience and help me. And so going through that process, I was able to land the marketing agency internship, which was completely remote and also paid, which was amazing because, did a few unpaid internships, but it's always great to be paid for your labor. But then CareerSpring actually helped me with 2 internships. And so during this time, I had told Laura that I was interested in finance opportunities, specifically investment banking. And so as Martine and Abby mentioned, a lot of the jobs and opportunities that you see, it's only a portion and only a fraction of what is really out there. And Laura, the job placement manager, actually sent me an opportunity that was specifically a diversity women's program. Typically, like in banking, I'm not sure if you guys are very familiar, but they kind of have like a diversity pipeline where you apply. It's a program, really great. They try and help you during the application process. It's kind of like a pipeline process to the interview, to like final interviews. And so she sent me that opportunity, and I hadn't seen it anywhere else. I think maybe she got it early on because she had a contact with the bank that had sent the opportunity. And then, later other people found out about it, but I got kind of like first dibs. And I went through that process, landed an internship with them, which was really great because banking can be kind of a hard industry to break into, especially investment banking. So it was really great knowing that I had CareerSpring's back. During this time, I was also scheduling and meeting up with a lot of the advisors on the platform. Before, when I didn't land my internship at the bank, I wasn't sure what exactly I wanted to do. So I was looking up people like who had previous banking experiences, or they currently were still in banking, and a lot of people like that. And they were all really great, really sweet, very helpful. Definitely gave me a lot of helpful advice as I was recruiting. And so, yeah, then kind of moving along to my internship in banking, or during my internships with the two companies I had got an internship with, I was also able to meet a lot of the other advisors or a lot of the other advisees because we all had internships. They kind of created like a little summer cohort of other students who had received internships through CareerSpring. So really had a great opportunity to meet other people from around the world, from around the US, or not the world, they're from around the US who all use CareerSpring, came from different backgrounds, but we all kind of had like that shared mutual background of being first gen. And so kind of moving along with my internship at the investment bank was a really great experience, but because of external factors, didn't get a return offer because the bank I worked at had some other things going on. But I will actually say, so currently I'm a senior and looking for a job opportunity or looking for a full-time job opportunity. And I'm like really happy to announce and like say that I actually got not just 2 internships, but also a job, like a full-time job from CareerSpring. Literally just happened today. So super exciting stuff. I got a job offer from another bank, and this offer literally came from a meeting with a CareerSpring advisor. She's also on the board in New York City. And when I first met her, I talked to her, talked about my background, kind of why I was interested in banking. And she literally connected me with a few of her like peers, a few of her connections. And one of these introductions literally led to me kind of going through the pipeline of applying, interviewing, and getting the job. And so, yeah, it's just been a really like CareerSpring. I'm also, as Abby mentioned before, a CareerSpring ambassador. On campus, I'm involved with a minority business club, kind of pre-professional development, and helping like undergrad students like you guys with the job search, especially in business, especially being like diverse backgrounds, FIGLY students, FIGLY like backgrounds. And so, yeah, it's just been a really great like CareerSpring. I really love sharing it since it is a free resource, and I've had so many amazing opportunities and things coming my way because I've been so like I love the platform so much. And so, yeah, I think I we'll end it off here, but happy to answer any questions. You guys can also look me up on LinkedIn and connect with me, and feel free to ask questions. Like, since I am a CareerSpring ambassador, but I also love like helping other students with with helping them with finance recruiting, job recruiting, resume stuff, all that good stuff. And so definitely feel free to reach out, but I will stop right here.
And they can reach you on the platform too, Jessica, as
I didn't know.
ambassador. So more incentive for everyone to sign up. We want to break the platform tonight by having all 180 of you sign up for CareerSpring tonight. So I will turn it back to Olivia because I see there are a lot of questions in the chat, and I know we only have about 15 more minutes.
There's a lot of really good questions in the chat. So awesome, you guys. Like, please keep them coming. So I see some themes as well. So there's some questions about when's the best time to use CareerSpring. So I think I want to answer that and just say now. Right now is the best time. Now, if you have questions, you're ready to prepare. Definitely now is the time to utilize CareerSpring. And somebody else asked, right, like unlimited amounts of meetings. Yes, you can meet with however many people you would like. A variety of professionals, right? It doesn't just have to be in the field that you're interested in. If you're not sure, you can meet with a variety of people. I think one thing, let me see. There are a couple of questions about just like the different types of internships. So are they both virtual, in person, kind of like a hybrid? And it looked like there's a variety on there, whatever the employers are offering.
There is a total variety. I will also say, for those of you who are in college or have graduated from college in different areas of the country, don't just limit yourself to LA, because there are internship opportunities in all of not only our cities, but kind of around the country. So yes, it's remote, it's part-time, it's internships, all of that. You just have to dive into the CareerSpring platform and you will see all of those.
And there was a question too, kind of like internship pipelines, and Jessica kind of spoke to that, right? Where you're able to find a job, get an internship, and you still can find those like traditional pipelines through CareerSpring. It's just, doing that networking. But it sounds like, yeah, there's definitely those possibilities out there.
Mm-hmm. With that one thing to just keep in mind is that there are some industries where entry-level jobs are not actually a thing, where you might actually be required to do a master's degree, a MBA. With that in mind, definitely be sure to connect with advisors because they can tell you that direct information just from their own personal experiences. But definitely, make those connections.
Yeah, network. I think that's the theme of today, is that those connections are really invaluable, and it's really who you know a lot of the times to really get your foot in the door. So I think that's really important. So for our students, I hope you're able to get the QR code to really take a minute. If you can't do it right now, take a screenshot or take a picture, right? So you can do it later. But this is a really invaluable resource. It's completely free for all of our students. And we really want to make sure that you're using the QR code and that you're using the FF Grad code, so that way your fun students. Yeah.
I will also add to that, so you can just log on to the website as well, and as long your key here is using the passcode, the FF Grad, that's the Fulfillment Fund passcode. So that's for you and exclusively for Fulfillment Fund students.
Yes, so make sure that you're using that FF grad passcode. Again, it's exclusive for us because we are partnered with CareerSpring, so it's a really great opportunity that all of our students can use. There is a question. I know there's, we have a lot of students who are interested in like business and finance, but we do have a lot of students who are also in the humanities, social sciences, and so we have some questions about the variety of jobs and internships on the platform as well.
So we do have,
yeah, can answer that as well, but when you look at all of the internships and jobs across the country, you will find them in legal and law as well. So if you're just exclusively looking at Los Angeles right now, there are, finance, entertainment, as Martine said, tutoring, but you have to kind of look broadly and then you can find anything in terms of any field.
mm-hmm. So yeah, with that in mind, we do get a variety of opportunities, teaching roles, engineering opportunities in tech, in the social sciences. Currently, we do have an opportunity with Progressive Pipeline. So if you are interested in, social justice initiatives, it is a company that kind of places you in different types of roles. This includes computer, engineering. This concludes data analytics, direct work. So just different types of roles. So we do have that opportunity currently on the platform. I know that we keep on going back to this, but the networking is important. One thing, going back to that statistic about not all roles are placed on, platforms, that means that there's some roles that we also don't get. With that in mind, again, keeping on making those connections, we do have some opportunities within medicine as well. And again, right, it's that continuous reminder of make those connections, connect with people. There are individuals that are doctors on the platform, nurses, therapists, counselors. There is a lot of knowledge on that platform. And it is very beneficial to make those connections because, again, you never know who you are going to meet, in those conversations or who those people, will introduce you to. I also saw a question about emails. My recommendation would be to use your personal email, just because once you graduate from college, unless you're keeping up with that email, they can, at some point it will get discontinued. So definitely use your personal emails, an email that you're checking pretty frequently, just to make sure that you are receiving any correspondence from us. And that's another piece. I can never plug this enough. Check your emails. Check your emails at least at minimum twice a day. I would say 3 times, one in the morning, once at lunch, and then once you're ending your day. But honestly, you should be checking it more frequently. Emails are very important in the professional world. So definitely be sure to be checking them.
One thing that I do want to highlight for our students too, right? You're going to get out of it as much as you put into it, right? So if you really spend time going in there, kind of being intentional on who you're reaching out to, really making sure that your own side of the platform is also up to date and really thinking about, the information that you want to put out there, you're going to get a lot out of it, right? Like anything else. And I think too, right, LinkedIn is a really good resource as well to have, to start out with. So I know a lot of students are kind of hesitant to maybe start that LinkedIn because it's not going to be the best. They don't have everything, right, to make it look all nice and fancy like a lot of the professionals, but it's a good place to start, right? And that's some place that you can also get some feedback on with some of the professionals that you're meeting with, right? So that's also something that you can set up a meeting for and get some feedback, right? On a resume, cover letter, whatever that is, so that you can definitely get some of those like hard skill reviews as well. So definitely take advantage of it. Yeah. I did see a question. Some of our students are interested in maybe some non-paid or some volunteer opportunities as well. Is there a variety of those on the platform too?
Most of our opportunities are paid because we feel that that's very important, to be able to make sure you have that income. But there are ones, it just left my mind one that's I want everyone to look at. It's called the FarmLink Project. It's a huge nonprofit called the FarmLink Project, and they are about to launch their fellowships for this coming summer. So anyone that's interested in climate change, food scarcity, the FarmLink Project was started by college students in 2020. It has grown. It has gotten the Congressional Medal of Honor. They are making a huge impact across the world at this point. So look for that on the CareerSpring platform in a week or so. But that's a good question as well. And then one thing I want to quickly mention, because I know there are freshmen and sophomores on the call, we are launching a pilot program where we are working with our employer partners to where traditionally maybe internships weren't available only if you were a rising junior or rising senior, that we're piloting a program that we would be exclusively freshmen and sophomore to work in cohorts of 3 with one of our employer partners this summer. It will be paid. You will have a lot of training. It will be very integrated between Career Spring and our employer partner. So that will be another opportunity that's coming for the summer.
Awesome. Okay, so there's something for everybody. It seems like on the platform. So wherever you're at, students, whether you feel like you have great experience or you're just starting out, there's definitely a place for you in Career Spring and somebody that can help you through those conversations, whether it's at Fulfillment Fund helping you get registered or, you know, starting right out the gate and reaching out to an advisor through Career Spring. Right, there's something for everybody, and we really, really encourage you to take advantage of the resource. It's completely free. And there's really a lot of amazing people on the platform. Your advisors are on the platform as well from Fulfillment Fund. We also meet with other students, Career Spring students as well. But yeah.
One last thing, I see that there are lots of questions about like, how do you start a conversation with an advisor? And, you know, all of those kinds of tips are on the platform as well. And that you, again, have conversations, whether it's with Martine or Jessica, your peer, who obviously is a shining example of being very proactive and maximizing the resource on the platform. So you will have the ability to have all of those conversations in addition to your working with Fulfillment Fund to kind of tee you up for the most successful conversations and interactions, and building that professional network, giving you the social capital that you will feel confident in having with working on the platform.
Yes, everything you need from start to finish. Yeah, it is on Career Spring. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Career Spring team. Students, I really hope you got a lot out of this session and that you're signing up. But please let us know if you have any questions about Career Spring after the session. And also make sure that you're doing the survey, right? Give us plenty of good feedback. And then remember, right, in order to get all of your prizes and things, you want to make sure that you're doing those surveys as well. So thank you, everybody. Yeah, Abby.
And lastly, Olivia, thank you. Olivia's been amazing in planning this whole Career Expo. It's been spectacular. I love working with everyone at Fulfillment Fund, and we can share our emails as well that Olivia can share with you after you're doing all of your other workshops.
Yep, we'll definitely make sure to send out emails to all of our participants so that way they can reach out to you all and connect with you, whether it be email, LinkedIn, and all that. Awesome. And then
Wonderful.
surveys, they're going to pop up when we end the session, y'all. So make sure that you're hanging out a little bit so you get that survey. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Really great to see everybody. Thank you, students. Enjoy the rest of the evening. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.